Okay. Hi guys.
Hi, Paul.
I want you to have a loud voice. Look, I'm watching you. I want a loud voice. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to tell me about John Paul Sartre and Albert Camus?
I think that they are philosophers that they create the existentialism. And what do you think that is? Existentialism, it's a phrase that they create, that it's about
That they create?
that they created, and it's about the truth, and it says life is a search for truth, which to find is to lose. What does it mean? I think that it means that you're taking all your time to the trash. Why? Because you're searching for the truth, and sometimes you don't find it, because in some cities or
Sometimes?
in some
Can you
cities,
find the truth?
in some cities,
Can you find the truth?
I think I can't, because I always, the theories always change it, then I never will found it. And
Or can you give me an example of that? The truth is always changing.
I can, it's like now someone scream, the truth is that the world is flat, but in 1 second, maybe in 1 second, one day, it will change that the world is wrong then, because it's like they have an idea, but they remember other idea that it's better than that idea. And I remember that Paul told us that in that time, if for example, if you said that the world was like a sphere, and they were going to kill you. But after they sent astronauts, so they saw that the world was like a sphere, and that's the truth of today. But maybe after will be other truth. Yeah, because if the world is flat, it will be like it will be like a line. But if it isn't flat, it will be a circle. But if you put in other side, it will be a line. And
I've heard the truth is that it's time for Valeria to marry. She's 9, right?
Yes, but that's a theory of the
Muslims.
Muslims, that they said that the child that is 9 have to marry, but it's a religion. But I think that our truth about it is that you can marry in the.
Well, what do you think about that? Are you ready to marry?
Not. It's that you can marry at, I think at the age of 30 or 40.
Why?
Because
Why is that?
You're like bigger than you had a big age, because. And if you're marrying at a little age, you will be ruining your life. I think.
What do you think?
I think that it's true that you're saying, because I think that the one person can marry when the perfect person can marry at 28. 25, I think, because they have that they study, they know how it's the real life, because I think that we are we don't know how it's
no, but you marry and your husband will take care of you and the babies.
Yeah, but that's one thing of some men, because other men, they just don't care about their babies
So what do you do if you marry, you don't have an education, and the man says, adios muchacha? What do you do?
I think that I have to search a work, I think, or a university maybe, because but the person that are studied, that are person that have a main very prefer, they can if the boy said buy, they can the person can be like, oh, I have a work, I'm good and I don't need you. And that's the real life we can see. And what do you think about the life, our work and the dean? I think that the thing he was.
Where does that come from, Howard Work and the Dean?
It comes from a movie that its name is Fountainhead.
Oh, okay, continue.
And the dean, first the dean, he was like a dinosaur. Because he just wants the thing that he said, because he's like, let's think that he said, I need just the columns and the arches.
So where did that come from, columns and arches?
I think that it's from the design, the old design, the Greco-Roman design, that it was the design that they have in their minds. It's like you have to say, you have to do this and this.
Well, what do you think? Was the dean an existentialist?
He wasn't. The person that was existentialist was Howard.
Oh, why is that?
Because he wants to create Howard Work. It's a person that wants to create other things. That his imagination is very big, and he create new things, new buildings, new designs.
But how dare him? He's a student, and he refuses to conform and do Greco-Roman. What do you think about that?
I don't think that he's refusing to do the Greco-Roman designs. I just think that he's doing something new because he wants to be successful. And too, the dean, he wants to be successful too because he wants that the thing that he said the person will do. But
And what do you think about Howard Work's friend who said, conform, follow the collective mentality, or you won't be successful? What do you think about that?
I think that he just wants to Harvard work have a great grades in that university because he was like, you have to do this because if you do other things, they will say like, oh, you have imagination, we don't have place for originality here, and that Dean said. But the friend, I think that he just wants to be that like the Howard work have a good to help him, and but Howard work he was like, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to create things. Yeah, it's like the generation of the telephones because first it was like a net, a little thing, but it was changing to some. It was changing, but it wasn't the mind of the boss in the company. It was the mind of the employees. That because some employees they were existentialists, and they were because before like the telephone was only for calls, and you just can call hello, and you can send message sometimes. But I think that one of the employees said, oh, we can create other thing that is not the same, and then they created the telephones that are like tactile, and it can be other things. Yeah, but it isn't just in the telephones. It's too in a lot of things that they are changing because they have existentialist person, and if they are an existentialist persons, we will be like in the time of when Howard was alive. Yeah. And what do you think about about the design of Howard work? I think that his design is like of the future of now because now we don't have that buildings, Because in one part of the movie he had
Continue.
he had three more buildings that they were very nice.
Well, let me ask you, how did Howard Rourke feel when he only sold 3 building designs in 4 years? How did he feel about that?
I think that he feels like deception. I think that he feels very like a normal person because he like a normal person because he don't care if
He don't?
he didn't care if
Gigaboo? Terrible grammar.
if someone don't appreciate his work
Appreciate.
appreciate his work. I think that he was feeling like a normal person for that. And
Hey, well, what do you think about this Sonita marrying that old, ugly gringo? What do you think about that?
Sonita is a beautiful girl that is from the Musquitia, and she married with a ugly gringo that.
Well, compare the way Mark Smith looks and the way I look.
I think that Mike Smith is a little bit more handsome than you. I
Ooh!
think so.
Oh, okay,
I don't know,
okay.
because you're ugly too.
Okay, continue.
And I think that she married with him, but I think that she is just manipulating him for the money, or maybe he. But I think that she just want like, oh, I look like I just want dollars and all that.
Yeah, but I heard you talk about Sonita wanting to kill somebody.
Yeah, I think that Sonita wants to kill Mark Smith because she will be like, let's think that she killed him. He will be like, oh, he died. But if the police or someone told to Sonita that all Mark Smith money
Now, there was
is for her.
something about the security cameras and the knife.
She had her house that when she married with Mark Smith, they bought a house that is like that have a lot of technology, and it have cameras, and she can't kill a person if she have cameras. Then she went to and she was like, oh, I don't know how to turn off the cameras because she was a poor educated uneducated girl, and then I think that she saw videos on YouTube,
So videos on YouTube.
she saw how cut the camera.
She watched videos on YouTube to learn how to cut the board.
Or maybe the wife of Robert Johnson helped her.
Who's Robert Johnson?
It's a man that he's the plant manager in Sigma McCoy, and he has 3 beautiful children, and his wife is Mary Johnson, and it's a best friend we can say of Sonja, and Robert is the best friend of Mark Smith.
Now, there's a guy named Clyde that we studied. Who's Clyde?
Clyde, he's a man we saw him in a movie.
What was the name of the movie?
The name of the movie was Law Abiding Citizen. And he had a little girl.
He what?
He had a little girl that her name was Heather. And the father was working in a keyboard, and the little girl was working in a necklace for her.
And they heard a knock on the door, and the takeout had arrived, correct?
That's incorrect. She was doing the necklace. Then the mother she wasn't preparing the food because she was.
So then why was she putting the plates on the table? She's not preparing food.
Because they order food, and she think when she heard the door knock, she thinks, oh, it's the food. She thought that it's the food, and then she put the plate, and she said, honey, go.
Oh, so she said, honey, Heather to the door.
No, it wasn't like that. It's like the mother had nicknames to Heather's father, and Heather's father had a nickname to Heather.
Well, what were Heather's nicknames?
There are baby, cupcake, sweetheart,
Cake.
pumpkin, pumpkin, sweetheart, and honey, I think. And I was thinking of.
So which honey did she send to the door?
The big one.
The big one. And what happened?
I think that we went to the door, and he just like, oh, I'm going to open the door, and he opened it, and the criminals that are at the door have one of the criminals.
Is he responsible? He's got his wife and his baby in the house.
He isn't, because he isn't thinking, because he's like, I just want to eat. It doesn't matter if it's other food from the neighbor, but because he didn't see who was it, because in between two windows was the door, and I think that he was two big windows, and he had to see, but that what's happened, it's that one of the criminals have a bat.
What kind of bat?
A baseball bat. And then when he opened the door, the criminal hit him, and then he was like, I think that he hit in the head, on the head, and the mother heard it and went to the room, and
What did those criminals do? Where did they take that beautiful little Heather?
They take her to, I think, to a room, and they kill her.
Maybe. Baby, can you teach her some English grammar?
What is a sentence? It's a group of words that expresses a complete thought or idea. What does a sentence express? It expresses a complete thought or idea. Why is a sentence made? It expresses a complete thought or idea. How does a sentence start? It starts with a capital letter. How does a sentence end? And it ends with a punctuation mark. What are the three kinds of punctuation marks? There are period, question mark, and exclamation mark. And what are the purpose of the period? It's to end a request, or a sentence, or a normal sentence, or a command. And what are the two main parts of the sentence? They are the complete subject and complete predicate. And what is a complete subject? It's to tell what a sentence is communicating about. And what is a complete predicate? It's to tell something about the complete subject. And what is the most important word of the complete subject and the complete predicate? It's the most important word of the complete subject is the simple subject, and the most important part in the word in the complete predicate is the simple predicate. How is the complete subject and the complete predicate composed? They're composed by the complete subject is composed by the simple subject and all its modifiers, and the complete predicate is composed by the simple predicate and all its modifiers. What two parts of speech can the modifiers most be? It can be they can be adjectives and adverbs. And what are the 8 parts of speech? They are noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, interjection. What is a noun? What is a noun? It's a word that means person, place, thing, or idea. And what is a pronoun? It's a word that takes the place of the noun. But what is the verb? It's a word that shows action or it's a word that shows the action or state of existence. What are the 2 kinds of verbs? What are the most important? No, what are the 2 main parts of the verb? What are the 2 kinds of? What are the 2 kinds of verbs?
They're action verbs and linking verbs. Now, what are the 2 kinds of?
What are the 2 kinds of action verbs?
Yes.
They're the transitive action verb and the
Oh, yeah, okay. No.
they're the transitive action.
Speaker?
They're the transitive action verb and the transitive action verb. What are the 2 subject complements of the linking verb?
Well, what's the difference between transitive
What
action?
is the difference between the transitive action verb and the transitive action verb? The transitive action verb transfers the action to the direct object, and the intransitive doesn't. And how is composed the linking verbs? It's composed by the predicate nominative and the predicate adjective. And
No. Subject.
I think that it's composed by subject plus
Linking verb.
subject plus linking verb plus complement.
And what are the 2 kinds of complements that follow linking verbs?
I think that they are the predicate nominative and the predicate adjective.
And what part of speech is the predicate nominative?
It's a noun.
What part of speech is the predicate adjective?
It's an adjective.
And what questions do predicate nominatives answer about subject?
It answers the question what the subject is.
And what questions do predicate adjectives answer about the subject?
What the subject is like. Where are the 8 parts of speech? What is an adverb? It's a word that describes. It's a word that describes. It's a word that modifies verbs, adjectives, or another adverb. And it answers the. And what questions does it answer? It answers how, when, where, why, how often, and in what condition, to what extent. And what is a adjective? It's a word that modifies nouns or pronouns. And what questions does it answer? It answers who, how, which one, what kind, and how many. And what is the preposition? It shows a relationship between it shows the relationships between the direct object.
No, not a direct object.
The indirect,
Its object.
its subject,
And
the preposition,
another word in the sentence. What 2 parts of speech are prepositional phrases?
they are the adjectives and adverbs.
Aha, adjectives and adverbs. Okay, good. What do you want to talk about?
World War II. We can talk about. Okay, World War II began in 1939 with the German invasion of Poland, and the Japanese entered to the war in 1941. I think yes, in 1941, and
Yeah, they bombed California.
No, they dropped bombs in Pearl Harbor. That it's a naval base that is located in Hawaii.
Why Pearl Harbor? Why not the Californian naval base?
Because California it isn't closer to Japan, and they too they don't have enough gasoline to fly from. They didn't carry enough gasoline to fly from Japan to California. And
Oh, okay. Well, did the airplanes have the capacity to carry enough gasoline to fly from Japan to Hawaii?
yeah, but they didn't, but because they didn't have the capacity to a lot of gasoline. And I mean that
Is that the question a lot?
it's still they didn't have the capacity to carry enough
Enough gasoline. So how did they get there?
They used the aircraft carriers.
I'm a little cowboy from Texas. You saw. A little cowboy from Texas. I don't understand that.
Aircraft carrier is a ship that carry airplanes, helicopters too. But in that time they didn't exist.
Why didn't they carry the helicopters?
Because in that time they didn't exist.
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't have helicopters until 1953. Yeah, we'll continue.
But they don't have just the originally airplanes that they just fly to another country. They have the bombers.
Compare the bombs that the dirty old Japanese, the bombs that the dirty old Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor with, and the bombs that the sweet, wonderful Americans bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
But the ones that bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki were more catastrophic than the other ones.
Oh, so the American bombs were more catastrophic than the American one. Tell me about life in Japan immediately after World War II.
The life in Japan when the World War II ended was very like a movie of terror. That it's very they didn't have jobs, they didn't have food, and they didn't have the universities to have the technology. But in the United States was very different.
Yeah, what was it like in the United States?
In the United States, it was the opposite of in Japan because it was like a dream. It's like I'm dreaming that I'm in the beach and
You're dreaming that you're a princess, right?
that I'm a unicorn.
Oh, unicorn! Oh, that's a unicorn? I don't know anything about babies.
And you're thinking I'm in the beach and you're thinking, oh, after the World War II we have all the things, and when you wake up you get out of your house, it's like you're living your dream. Yeah, I think that it was like someone is sleeping and he wake up and he woke up and he opened his window and he in the United States he saw the flowers and all the things and the food and jobs and the people are happy. But I think that in Japan they sleep under the bread and they are sewing
Oh, Hitler! Hey, what about Hitler? What do you know about Hitler?
Hitler,
Oh, he lives today.
he was a man, but when the movie starts, he was a boy that his father was teaching him about Parsifal.
Oh, what's that? Percival.
It's like a German ideal for them because they have to be purity.
Now help her out.
Parsifal is a German ideal, a combination of strength, determination, and purity.
Oh, you got it together and you work so well together. It was almost like can you sing it? It's a combination. Can you sing it?
It's a combination of strength, determination, and purity.
That's a pretty good song. And what was the problem? Hitler's father was saying, "There's a curse on me." What was that about?
It's because the father of Hitler was the uncle of Hitler's mother. Hitler's mother.
That's okay, right?
In the time, it was legal to marry with a familiar, but here in this time, it's illegal to marry with.
Why? If you love your cousin, marry your cousin.
I don't know, it's illegal that have but I think that it's in this time they marry with their family, or maybe the government said you can't marry with your family.
But what's the reason?
I really don't know the reason.
How about genetics?
I think.
Do you want to have a child that looks like me?
I think that it wasn't that in this time it isn't illegal. It's just that the person doesn't want to marry with a family because they know that the genetics, they are the same, and they will marry.
What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
Love and system.
Hey, Howard, you can just talk. I don't care.
Okay. What did you think? What did you think? Why did you think that the criminals kill all the family? Maybe I have a theory.
A theory.
Theory that it's that maybe Clay was like he have a job that is very important, and he have like a papers that are very important, or maybe he have money, or maybe the criminals was like, when they killed him, it was when they cut him, they were like, he wasn't the person. Yeah, I think that too, and they killed the mother, Heather's mother and Heather, because they don't want that two person will be saying, police arrest him. And I saw that they are using like something in their. I think that they are bats.
Yeah, really. She thinks they're bad. They killed the baby and the mother, and she thinks they're bad. What?
The thing that they use in their feet, they are like sacks, bags of trash.
Bags of trash?
Yeah. Because I think that they didn't want that the police saw someone was there. Yes.
See the shoes.
Yeah. And
I never thought about that. Well, I like the way you do that heavy thinking. You're a very heavy thinker.
But I think too that they tied Clay's hands because if they don't tie his hands, then he will be like trying to escape, or Clay will be hitting.
Okay, give me a conclusion. You have 2 minutes. Talk about anything.
I'm going to talk about the make of the people, of the entities.
What's an entity?
It's a group of parts working together for one reason or one purpose. It's like our hands, or it's like us, because we are entities. The main of the entities we are different. All the main of the entities for you, for example, you have a third. It's like the same with the topic. You have a third, and I have other third. It's like different imagination, different minds. But the things that now we are thinking, it's that more new, it's more cool.
More new is more cool.
It's like I want to be I want to be something in the world.
Yeah, something like me, right?
No, because you're old
Oh.
and ugly.
Oh. Well, continue.
But now I think that the garment the shirts and the pants that we are using
We're using?
that we use
We're wearing.
that we're wearing
Ooh.
they in older time they use like
They wore.
they were other things that are more different like old and they have other like a Greco-Roman design, but now it's like the pants have to be cut and or the t-shirts have to be or the shirts have to be like here and but that's like the songs because the songs always are changing. First it's this, then it's older and it's bad and it's good, but we always have different thinking. For example, I love a kind of music and you hate my music and I hate your music and it's very different. But I'm going to talk about the technology now. We know that we want the telephone. I saw babies that are 2 or that for example a baby he is 2 and he can use the camera of the telephone. And I saw a baby that it's 5 and he was playing and I was like, oh, you know how to use a telephone. But that's different thinking because, for example, for a mother it can be good that they children use technology a lot, maybe. But for example, for my mom, it can be bad that a person can just use a lot of technology.
I have to stop you to talk. I mean, we're running out of time.
Today I'm going to talk about competition. Competition it's good for some companies, for the companies that made the cups, the cups
You
that
think
are,
competition is good for companies?
for the companies that they do the plates, the paper plates, the glasses of paper, all the things like that. It's good for that because the restaurants that they have competition, they need to buy a lot of that because they need that a lot of persons go to the restaurant and they are changing the.
Well, let me ask you, why does KFC need more customers than Paul McCoy English to be successful?
Because of for the profit per unit, I think.
Well, what about the profit per unit?
And I think that the profit per unit it's lower in KFC than in Paul McCoy British American School. Because.
Okay, look at the camera and tell them bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, why aren't you glad they're watching you? Thank them. Thank them. Thank the people that are going to be watching you.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, and thank you. I think it was great.